Okay, let's just jump right in with a single chilling fact. The police found two bodies. And that right there, that's where our story both ends and begins. So today, we're going to piece together the absolutely terrifying events of a school trip gone horribly wrong. We're diving deep into the account from Huni Monday to figure out what truly happened. And that's the question, isn't it? The one that just hangs over this entire story. I mean, this night started out as a simple adventure, and then it just completely spiraled into an absolute nightmare. So let's dig in and figure out what really went down. You know, sometimes to understand how something began, you've got to start at the very end. And in this case, that's the brutal, cold morning after. I want you to just picture this for a second. A student, Ayush, wakes up all alone in a hotel room, totally confused. He runs outside, and bam, it's just chaos, cops everywhere, and then he sees it. Two white sheets on the ground. Underneath, his best friends. Now, the police, they've got their theory. It's a double murder, case closed. But Ayush, he knows the truth is something so much worse. So, how in the world did it get to this point? Okay, let's rewind. Let's look at the one tiny, seemingly innocent decision that kicked this whole tragedy off. It really all started with just a little bit of bad luck. You've got a school bus, it's on its way to Shimla, and then it breaks down, right in the middle of nowhere. So what do? The teachers check everyone into this remote hotel, totally surrounded by mountains and this dense forest. And our three guys, Ayush, Amin, and Rohan, they all end up in the same room. Just a simple, unplanned stop. I mean, what could possibly go wrong, right? So what pushed them to do what they did next? Well, it started with a simple view from their window. They see this lake, and it sparks a memory. They remember this story, a kind of school legend, about some other kids who got super popular after pulling off a nighttime adventure just like this. And, you know, it's classic teenage thinking, isn't it? The chance to be popular, it just completely overshadows any real thought of risk. And just like that, the plan is hatched. It's so simple, almost naive. Step 1, sneak out. Step 2, snap some awesome photos by the lake. Step 3, roll back into school as legends. It's the perfect teenage dream. The only problem? They had absolutely no idea what was actually waiting for them out there. Okay, and this is where that simple plan for popularity takes a seriously dark turn. The second they step outside that hotel, they're stepping right into the shadow of the forest. And the night just gets worse and worse, hour by hour. Look at this. At 11 p.m., they're pumped, full of adrenaline. By midnight, that excitement is gone. It's replaced by fear. They're lost. No phone signal. And then, at 1 a.m., the real nightmare starts. Rohan just disappears. Whatever happens in those next few hours, well, that's the heart of this whole mystery. This is the first truly terrifying moment. Rohan's gone for just a few minutes, but when they find him, he's not Rohan anymore. The friend they knew is just gone. And in his place is this thing. He's digging a hole with this insane strength, and his eyes, they're completely black. When Amin just touches his shoulder, this new Rohan literally throws him across the ground. The force is unbelievable. And just when you think, okay, maybe it's over, because Rohan suddenly collapses, then wakes up screaming back to his normal self, it gets so much worse. Ayush looks over at their other friend, Aman, and he's just sitting there, completely silent. And when Aman finally looks up, his eyes are pitch black too. The entity didn't leave. Oh no, it just switched hosts. But this time, it's different. The possessed Amin, he doesn't attack. He just gets up and starts running, deeper and deeper into the forest. He's leading them somewhere, straight to the source of all this evil. He leads them to this old, creepy, falling apart house. And inside, they see it, the real face of what's been tormenting them. It's this horrifying old woman. She's got the same pitch black eyes, skin that's just sagging off her bones, and this stringy white hair. But the movement? Ayush says she crawled down the stairs. Not like a human, but like an insect. So you see, this isn't just some random ghost. They've literally walked into its nest. And what they see next is what finally breaks them. They look into a room, and there's their friend, Aman, just floating, levitating in the middle of the air, completely unconscious. And that horrifying woman is there, whispering to him. That's it. That's too much. The real Rohan and a terrified Ayush don't even think. They just turn and run for their lives. So they're just running blindly through the dark forest with this creature skittering somewhere behind them. And in their panic, they end up right back where they were headed in the first place, the lake. And this is the moment the local legend stops being a story and becomes a deadly reality. In their mad dash to get away, they trip and both fall into the cold, dark water of that same lake. But something's wrong. They feel hands, things grabbing at them, pulling them under. Ayush manages to fight his way back up to the surface, gasping for air, but when he turns around, he has to watch as his best friend Rohan is dragged down, disappearing into the blackness. The shock just overwhelms him and he passes out right there on the shore. So what are we left with? We've got two totally different versions of the truth. It's this incredible clash between cold, hard logic and terrifying folklore. On one side, you have the police report, double murder. It's neat, it's tidy, but it doesn't explain a single thing Ayush saw. And on the other side, you have the local legend, a story that sounds impossible, but somehow it explains everything. And according to the locals, this is where it all started. The story goes that years and years ago, an old woman lived in that house, all by herself. But some greedy villagers wanted her land, so they murdered her and threw her body into that exact same lake. And this, right here, is the chilling punchline to that whole legend. The local saying basically translates to, "The spirit of that old woman still wanders here, looking for her revenge." So she wasn't just some random monster, she was a victim, and now she targets anyone who gets too close to her land, her home, or her watery grave. Which really just leaves us with one final haunting question, doesn't it? Think about it. It was a chain reaction of tiny, random events. The bus breaks down, they hear a story about being popular, they happen to look out a window. If just one of those things hadn't happened, would all three of those boys still be alive today? It really makes you wonder, about that razor-thin line between pure chance, a bad choice, and a fate that maybe, just maybe, you were never meant to escape.